All right, guys. Welcome to episode 3 of 3 a.m. on a Wednesday, hosted by Carrie Bengals Fantasy Football League. We had a not so eventful week one, kind of a disappointing week for the league, for me, not so disappointing for our two guests here, Ankit and Joseph. So we'll go straight into it. All right, let me bring the. All right, you guys can see my screen, right?
Not yet. Oh, now I can.
Okay, all right. All right, so first matchup, we're gonna start with It Hurts a Little versus Heterophobes Reloaded. Me versus Joseph. Disappointing for me. Not the greatest week, 108 points scored, 113 points. With the expectations I had coming into, it's been kind of disappointing, but there has been worse performances from other people. So um the Eagles offense, Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith, they just refuse to pass the ball. I know they won, but it was just so entertaining to watch that game. Gibbs, good game. Good overall performance from Detroit Lions. Chase Brown, disappointing. Pickens, showing me something. Tyler Warren, decent as always. Mike Evans, tough matchup. Derek Stingley, I'll take it though. So yeah. All right, we'll go with Joseph C.
Yeah. I think I had a pretty solid week. Some duds from some key players. Brees Hall, the Jets just had a bad game in general. Jags offense, they looked all right, but Trevor Lawrence has definitely been been pretty mid. So Travis Hunter, therefore, couldn't get some, couldn't get like all the receptions he should have got. Thankfully, my two dependable guys, Lamar Jackson and Bijan Robinson, just carried me. And also the GOAT, Brendan Aubrey. I mean, I, I have nothing this I words cannot describe what I want to do to this man, but he has single-handedly carried me to victory. Shout out to the Ravens defense as well. But yeah, I think it was a solid week. Definitely could have scored more, but again, happy with the win. Was kind of nervous that Brock Bowers was questionable basically the entire week. But he played, got me 8 points. I didn't really need it though, but points help along the way. So glad with the win, and hopefully we can make it 3-0 this upcoming week.
Yeah, it's like, this is actually a funny story. Like, uh, when me and TJ, we were watching the Cowboys Giants game, and we were going back and forth, but by this time, Ravens just had that defensive touchdown. So you kind of took like a lead, like a little 10-point projected lead. And I needed something, right? So, Giants, I'm a big Giants fan. And I told TJ, like, what happens if George Pickens scores on this drive? They had the ball with 50 seconds left. I was like, what happens if he scores on this drive? Like, how would I react? Because I want to win fantasy, of course, but how would I react? All right. And guess what? He scores in like with 50 seconds remaining. But there was
Yeah.
something in me,
Cutting out. I don't know if it's just
that
me.
like a mirror
Yeah.
fantasy.
You got to repeat yourself. You cut out at the
Sorry.
part.
Which part?
As George Pickens scores the touchdown.
Yeah, as George Pickens scored a touchdown, you know, I didn't really know how to celebrate it. It was pretty sad, but me and TJ, we knew like a miracle could happen, right? And then Malik Neighbors scores a touchdown, and for like maybe 1 to 2 minutes, it was was one of the happiest times in my life. Up in fantasy, Giants about to beat the Cowboys, and then his brother Brandon Aubrey from fucking 80 yards. Bro, I just can't believe it.
I
Like
mean,
that right there just changed the entire
how sad is
changed
this guy
everything.
talking about happiest moments of his life, and it's week 2 of the NFL?
Yeah.
I mean,
You know
damn.
what? But
I mean, I'd say, damn, you have it the
I
worst.
mean, bro, no, it
You have a Carolina Panthers fan
like
here, so.
imagine your
Whoa.
rival team, they score in fantasy, they take the lead, right? But there's still some, some hope left that, I could have it all. And it looks like it's going to happen. It looks like you're going to have it all. And everything just comes falling down.
Well, I'm a grown up, so
All right.
I personally haven't.
Okay, all right.
Well, Rishi, to be fair, like as I was watching the game, I was kind of waiting for that like play to happen that like kind of like swings the momentum because I was favored the whole time, but like the game was getting close. They were dropping like
Yeah,
30 points. I was like, okay, like I'm kind of dodging like big bullets right now. Like George Pickens had like 5 points. I was like, okay, I think I'm doing all right.
yeah,
I was like, okay, when is Chase Brown gonna score against this sorry Jacksonville defense? Never happened. But then
yeah,
George Pickens scores a touchdown, and now I'm like, okay, like here we go. Like this is the beginning.
yeah.
And then,
And
but
guess what?
then
At the same time, the Bengals were at the 1 yard line.
I know, dude, they're at the 1 yard.
Yeah, yeah,
Shout out to Jake Browning for sneaking it in.
yeah.
Shout
The
out
thing
to
is, like,
him.
it wouldn't have mattered, and uh, the fucking Eagles offense sold me. And
Well,
whoever,
you
like the
would have been
giant,
more
like
angry about Brandon Aubrey if
no, shut up. The giant, like, bro, whoever the Giants defensive coordinators, I probably should. I just looked him up. Like, bro, he shouldn't have a job. Like, he shouldn't have a job. After this week. So yeah, well, let's go to the next matchup.
do we ask questions about teams later? We'll just focus on matchups right now.
Yeah, we're gonna focus on matchups. All right. So Bill versus Kamara versus the World. Ravant versus Amog. Ravant falls to 0-2. Ravant falls 0-2. Amog goes to 2-0. So yeah, we'll go over Ravant's team first. Disappointing, really. AJ Brown, another bad week. Calvin Ridley, tough matchup. I feel like he'll do better going further into the season. James Conner, you would expect more going against the Panthers defense. And he's showing some life, I would say, Ravant. Like, he has Bill Krosky Merritt on the bench, you know. So he's showing a little bit of life. There's still a lot of room to grow. Like, I would say, like, he goes looking at how, like, we're gonna go into it, looking at how bad some of these teams are. Like, he's now, I would say, in the playoff conversation, and it's not the greatest team either. And it just shows you, like, the quality, like, this year is not very good in our league.
Yeah, I mean, we'll touch on it later, but it's definitely better than a lot of the trash teams right now, but there's still definitely some concern spots there. And I guess I'll go into talking about a Mogs team. Our defending champion has continued winning, onto his second win in a row. Uh, Honestly, the biggest thing for him is he has really struck gold in Javonte Williams, who looks to be a bona fide RB1 2 games into the year. Uh, Many of us, probably all of us, other than maybe Coppin, are haters of Javonte Williams coming into the season. So that's been huge for a Moog. And he's also got great bench showing with Roma Dunze, which might end up being big. So we'll see, what a Moog has in store. He has probably one of the best running back rooms in this league. And star wide receiver one in Puka. So he really just once he can really solidify a wide receiver two, he might be back on his way to at least really solidly competing for another championship.
All right. Next matchup. Jaden Jeffrey Jr.'s mom, which is Carter, versus Trisomy 21. TJ, dominant performance, winning by almost 60 points. Um, he is number one in the power rankings. We'll go into it after. But yeah. So I'll go over Carter's team. You know, I would say, like, this is what we expect from a team like this. Uh I'm actually surprised he was able to score 80 points this week. He started Michael Pittman Jr. against Patrick Surtain. I know Surtain got hurt, but that's a terrible start. Um, Montgomery was lucky to get in the end zone. Jay Daniels, I mean, you have to start him, of course, but the terrible matchup against the Packers defense. He was lucky to get there, of course. And Kyron, little concern. Blake Corum stole a touchdown from him. But yeah, this it isn't the greatest team. Some questionable starts. I mean, looking at it, like who else could he have started other than Michael Pittman? So yeah, that's my bad. Like, look at his bench. So yeah,
Yeah. TJ with a near 60-point victory. His squad is looking nice. He drops 140, even with Derrick Henry dropping 2 points, which is kind of scary to think about. Especially because they were playing in a blowout. They should have ran the ball with Derrick Henry more. I mean, they were at like the 1 yard line, like I think they had like 8 plays from like within 3 yard line, and they threw it every single time. So Derrick Henry definitely should have scored more. I mean, TJ's team is really well rounded. Daniel Jones looks good to start. We'll see how long that keeps up. But yeah, Carter's team, I'm not willing to write it off yet. I think he still has some like really solid pieces. Jaden Daniels, I mean, looks like he's gonna be out this week, but he's a solid player, a solid piece for the rest of the season. Justin Jefferson, I'm not too concerned. Like he'll get his targets, which is a bad matchup against Atlanta. I mean, they have a really good defense, so I mean, yeah, not too surprised there. And then I mean, Marvin Harrison, I'm still a believer in him. I think he can do well. I just think the Cardinals were up like basically well, they were up the entire game and like they didn't really need to throw. They were up like 2 possessions, 3 possessions at the one point. They didn't need to throw the ball. So Marvin Harrison was kind of like, you know, based on the game script, didn't get plays. But yeah, disappointing week for Carter. But I think we'll get into this later. But out of the 0-2 teams, this is the one I'm not as concerned about.
right. Code Monkey, Mr. Ankit here.
Yeah.
Versus
So,
wait, let me hold on.
sorry.
Beats Alvin. Code Monkey Musa 1-1. Dominant performance. Winning by more than 50 points. So yeah.
Yeah. So, for the Code Monkey team, we touched on it last week, or at least I touched on it that we didn't score touchdowns last week, and that's literally all it was. And this week we got kind of what's expected out of this team. Touchdowns on the board from all the star players. Led to just a dominant 151 points. And we also had some great bench production. And also playing against an opponent like Alvin, there was never really a concern at all going into the week. His team is trash, as we can see. Nothing is going well, no one going right for him really. He's got some Mickey Mouse points from the A-Chain, but his QB is now out for 3 months, which was one of his top 50 picks. And I don't really know what else to say about his team. There isn't much going right for it right now.
Yeah. So yeah, very good performance from Ankit. He kind of stamps like himself that he is here, that he's ready to compete for a championship and not just make the playoffs. So yeah, so his running back room looks like RB1, RB2, looking like how they perform these first 2 weeks. If Tyreek Hill can be consistent, I would say that is his main question mark. I know he has JMO. JMO crazy stat line. Two
Yeah.
receptions, 101 yards, touchdown. But yeah, and then Jawan, he's looking like a good player. We'll see. I think the connection with Mac Jones is there with Jawan. So and it worked out really well with BTJ last year. So we'll see how that works out. Quinshawn looking like a good pick. Uh Quinn Johnston, he gets there. And then Alvin, like I'm surprised he's putting it like first week 108 points, second week almost 100. Like
Yeah.
that's a lot of points. Like
With this
for
trash ass
that, but
team,
yeah,
yeah,
with this team.
it's pretty surprising.
But the thing is, like, he does have volume at the end of the day. Like I feel like there'll be a solid floor. I know Burrow gone is really going to hurt him, but he has like isn't like he isn't like that bottom tier, of course, but he has that volume. And
He has a good mid-ass team. That's what he got.
exactly, really good mid ST. And Cooper Cup, he got there as well with 16 points.
Okay, well, let's not count on that, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, yeah, of course. Yeah, let's move on. Tet offensive versus Nungali's Naners, sorry. Um Sparsh moves to 0-2. Sam goes to 1-1. Just look at the score. Just look at it like I haven't seen anything like this in years. Like,
Yeah, I think you should adjust scoring and bump up Sparsh by 90 just to make it feel better.
yeah, I haven't like I remember like back in the day somebody beat somebody by 100 points. I think it was like Ushno over somebody else, or I don't know, but like it was. I haven't seen this dominant of a performance in a long time. But we'll start with Sparsh's team. Uh, you know, I know it looks really, really bad, but he did miss on Justin Fields and Hunter Henry. He started the wrong guy. You know, Drake May would have got him 26. Tucker Craft would have got him 24. So that would have been 30 more points. I know wouldn't make much of a difference, but 100 points looks a lot better than 69. Uh, and he has like it looks like his team is just buy low. Like if you just look on any fantasy football Twitter, it's just buy low. You know, Nico Collins, Drake London. You can even say Hampton, T Mac, and I'll let one of y'all show Sam's team.
Yeah. I mean, even though Sam started off 0-1, I did have him as like a preseason 1A, 1B with you, Rishi, but like I'm still like this is what I kind of expected out of Sam's teams. Like he lost like a semi sweat last week, but this week everyone plays well. I mean, Dak, like everyone played like how they should have played. I guess Zach Ertz kind of popped off a bit, and Amon-Ra obviously, but everyone else like they kind of did what they needed to do. Which I think I'm like most impressed about. Even with Matt Gay like missing 2 field goals, like I mean Travis Etienne's becoming an RB1. We'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, Sam's team is looking great. Sparsh's team, I know you mentioned the Justin Fields choice, but like I mean, like I don't know what he does from here. I mean, he has to trade. I don't even know if he has to trade people. Like it's just players underperforming. Like I think Sparsh is in like a kind of like a weird spot where like there's no one on his team that he needs to trade away because like maybe like injury concern or anything. Like everyone's solid. Um, it's just kind of like how long does he wait for like Nico to be Nico, like Drake London to become Drake London, like and Omari Hampton like kind of like finally pop off and become the RB1 everyone's expecting him to be. I guess it's just timing for Sparsh. But yeah, rough start for um someone's like a lot of the people's, preseason #1. But yeah, um,
Yeah,
tough scenes for Sparsh.
yeah, it's very surprising. You know, very surprising for both teams. Sam, a bottom dweller in this league, looking like a real contender, and Sparsh, last 4 years, 4 title appearances, looking like a last place candidate. We'll move on to the next matchup.
Well, let me just
Oh,
say that
sorry.
I was hating on Sparsh's team from the beginning.
All right, all right, we'll remember that. All right. Bark for Daddy versus Lads. Kirk moves to 2-0. Keisha, very disappointing performance. Very disappointing week for him. Moves to 1-1. We'll start with Kirk's team. Kirk, another strong performance. Just has a solid floor. The main worry is, of course, BTJ. Will he get back? Will he get that draft capital that he paid for? Rest of the season. But just an overall solid week. He has a decent team. And Keshav, a lot of things fell apart this week for him. Aaron Jones injury, Joe Burrow injury, affecting Jamar Chase. But he had some duds, of course. Like I don't think I think right now he's not even starting like a running back that's projected for more than 10 points. So that's another thing to look out for. So yeah. Uh any thoughts on either of these teams?
I'll save thoughts for maybe.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. All right. So I'm gonna show you guys this week's power rankings. So I'm gonna do Google Docs.
Absolutely abysmal voter turnout.
Yeah. Only 2 people voted, you know,
I, I,
not a
I,
good look for the league.
I forgot to vote.
It was only Joseph and I. Joseph always coming in clutch. So thank
Guys,
you,
remember the
Joseph.
vote. Your vote
Yeah,
matters.
your vote really does matter because like
Uh,
Yeah.
Like
Uh,
it's not even manager pool. It's me and Joseph and I pool. Like, all right,
next week I'm there.
But to be honest, though, I think right now a lot of people's orders would look pretty similar to what we have. I'll be honest.
all right. We'll start from bottom. Uh, we'll start from the bottom. So was number 12 is Carter. So let's pull up Carter's team. Let's have a good look at it. Opposing teams. All right. So, you know, I'm surprised he's number 12, actually. It's not a terrible
I was
team.
gonna say I personally wouldn't have him at 12.
I
There,
mean, Joseph and I voted him at 12, and me saying that, like,
Yeah, looking like thinking about like when we're talking about his team, I was like, out of 0-2 teams, the team I'm least concerned about. Yeah, I put him at 12, but looking at his team now, it shouldn't be 12. But
but yeah,
that bench is like, yikes.
yeah.
wait,
I think the bench is really, really bad.
wait. No, we had you guys put Alvin at 12.
Oh, did I pull up the wrong week? Oh, I did pull up the wrong week. Sorry.
All right,
Yeah.
this makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, he's at number 10. We have a tied for 10, so basically 11, 10. Sorry about that. Uh, okay, Alvin at 12. Yeah, this is yeah. He comes in at basically both people who voted him last. So I think the main concern is the Joe Burrow injury, of course. He's basically out for the fantasy football season. Uh Genti is not looking so good, but I feel like he's going to bounce back. The talent is there. Um, but yeah, Garrett Wilson, huge question mark. You know, the lack of consistency from Justin Fields is really hurting him. Jerry Judy, same thing, lack of consistency from Joe Flacco. And do we know like if if we're going to get Joe Flacco rest of the season, if we're going to get like a rookie quarterback like Dylan Gabriel, Shador, and are they going to throw the ball to Jerry Judy as much as he's needed to throw to be good in fantasy? So yeah,
I personally, I don't even feel great about Genti, to be honest. I think, I mean, obviously it's only 2 weeks in, but not to his fault, but that line is just really bad. I saw that his like, he's getting contacted like zero point 0.1 yards before the line of scrimmage. That's his average, like a point of like contact. So it's like, this guy's getting hit behind the line. So it's going to be hard for him to produce if that's the case.
Joseph.
Yeah, this is my clear bottom team. It already was towards the bottom, but after going 0-2, Burrow's out and McCarthy's out, I just don't see much from this team. And Jada Reed got hurt too, I forgot. Like with the even with the pieces he has, like I don't know if anyone's gonna be like willing to trade for a lot of his team. Like Garrett Wilson, Jerry Judy, Chris Olave, not exactly trade targets for anyone. Um, Only people that I can imagine people trading for are like obviously Achan and Genti, but like Anka said, some people aren't too high on one or both those running backs. So um, he doesn't. Alvin has to make some moves, but I don't know who's going to be, exactly like reaching out to him for those players.
Yeah, I want to touch on Chris Olave. You know, I saw a stat that he's getting wide receiver 5 usage, but he's like wide receiver 30 something. And I feel like, that sounds really good, right? You know, he could easily bounce back. And I know Chris Olave will score more points going forward, and he'll be one of Alvin's better players. But I feel like that's been like his thing like his entire career. You know, he gets crazy usage, crazy targets, but he doesn't produce fantasy football wise. So yeah,
And I mean, at the end of the day, he's still got Spencer Rattler at QB. So
that is true. He had a good week though. All right, let's go to where we were. Jaden Jefferson Jr.'s mom. Yeah, touching back to Carter's team, we also do rank Carter low, not just because his team is not so good. It's also he's not the greatest fantasy football manager. So we have to keep that in mind. And but the thing is, he is active. Like he does, he is kind of panicky, and he does trade with the same people year after year. But he is active, and anytime he makes a move, like he trades like a star player away, he gets a whole bunch of depth, he always bounces back in some weird way, and he goes on a crazy run. It's happened 2 years ago when he started 0-5 and went all the way to like 9-5 or something. So, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's just like it's question marks around uh Kyron, the efficiency hasn't been great this year. I think he'll find the end zone, but I think that was the case last year where he was really touchdown dependent to be kind of a valuable piece to a team. Montgomery is I feel like it's starting to become more and more Jahmyr Gibbs, and it becomes a little scary for what you're going to get from Montgomery on a weekly basis. And then I personally, even coming in this season, I had concern for Jay Jettas. Just I had concern about the QB play. Now McCarthy's out, but even with McCarthy, I thought he was a trash ass QB to begin with. But I worry about Jettas not getting the production he normally gets because he doesn't have at least a competent throwing QB the way he's normally had throughout his career.
Yeah, and his bench is obviously really bad. Like you
Yeah,
would
I
you would
mean,
think that he would make more like why does he have two kickers? Why
I mean,
like
Leggett and Shipley should not be like even
Ye-
rostered.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like Leggett, why is Shipley rostered? But yeah, I also think like Michael Pittman, he could turn out to be like a decent piece, decent depth. You can start him when he has good matchups. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. will bounce back. Jay Jettis will get there. I also wasn't the biggest fan of Justin Jefferson coming into the season, but for other concerns because of his hamstring. But I feel like he will still get there. We've seen it before. Like he doesn't need perfect QB play. I feel like it's better with Carson Wentz than JJ. But if JJ continues to look bad, then I'm gonna have to agree with you, Ankit. So yeah. All right. Let's move on to Keshav, who comes in at number 10, tied
I
for number 10 with Jaden Jefferson Jr. All right, lads. Keshav had a strong week one. I think he scored close to 120 points, led by a 40-point performance from Josh Allen. But it feels like, now he doesn't have basically a RB2, like let alone a RB1 right now, like a running back that you could be comfortable starting. And Jamar Chase loses Joe Burrow. I think Jamar Chase will still be fine, but he's not going to give you that wide receiver one upside. So yeah, but he still has Josh Allen, and Josh Allen is the best fantasy football quarterback, in the league.
I I personally think this team sucks like pretty bad. Uh, Obviously Jamar Chase, good. Lad McConkey, a solid player, and then Josh Allen. But outside of those three, like I just have no faith in anyone. Uh, Maybe Harold Fannon's not bad, but I think I look at the running backs and I'm just disgusted at how bad it is. Like if we got Travion Henderson as your RB1 and we got Rashad White at RB2, we are in such a bad place and it's only week two. And it's like what do you do? It's like hell, like I'd even start Tootin if I was him. Like
Yeah. I
I
think I think he's banking on that two in Travion Henderson like late season. But
dude,
like will he even be like if right now he's not gonna be a late season guy. Like he's gonna be out of the playoff race come week 7 right now.
this guy got 36 and a half points from Jamar Chase and couldn't break 100.
Yeah,
Get
that
that Josh
I
Allen a down
yeah.
week, but there has to be the alarm bells got to be ringing up in
Yeah.
Seattle. This is
Like
bad.
he did pick up Kenneth Gainwell. It's not really going to do much, but
What are we doing?
I'm very like I've I've heard news that like people are asking him for trades. People are trying to steal Lad. People are trying to get Jamar, and he hasn't been too concerned. Like really, like he's still waiting on it, and we'll see if that changes. But
Yeah, when he's 1-3, then that'll be a bigger concern.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I can jump in really quick, I can confirm people have been asking for trades. Sources tell me, well, not name sources, but sources tell me people have been asking. And yeah, like you said, he is not concerned at all.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but I guess
That's insane delusion.
Yeah. All right. What you're not? What about Cortland Sutton? You said like you named and you said you didn't name Cortland Sutton. You said after those three, you don't depend on anybody. I know he had a terrible week, but
I mean,
I feel like
K-Ship
you should.
can win based off Josh Allen, Jamar Chase. Like with those two, you can win, and you hypothetically can win any week because like they
No, he
could
can.
drop
I feel like
30.
he can only beat like really bad teams right now. Like there's no like.
Even if Josh Allen has like another insane performance, like
Yeah, but his RB room is like kind of cooked now. Like again,
no, like
late season, Henderson and Tune might be like amazing. They'll probably be like a really good, solid like RB duo. But again, like
Yeah,
it's week 8 and you're like 3-5 and 2 or 2-6. Like it frankly
yeah,
doesn't matter that you hit on two rookies. Like
yeah,
you gotta win like 6 straight to make the playoffs.
yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, I think that's where his mind's at right now, though. Which isn't the best mindset. He scored
I
77 points
I know what it's
with
like.
with 70. Jamar Chase scored more, like close to half.
Oh, wait, I
Uh,
thought he scored 96. He only scored
he
77?
scored 77.
Oh
All
my God. So
right,
you're
let's
telling me
go to
even
the
if Josh Allen went off for like 30 something, he would have barely scraped over 100?
yeah. All right, we got the defending runner-ups. Ted Offensive,
This Washington 8, 9.
number 9, yeah. And you know, when he drafted this team, we had him at number 1 in the power rankings, but there was a lot of question marks. We thought those question marks would have been, good answers to those question marks because it is Sparsh and we treat him as such a notable figure in our league, but it hasn't worked out. And I think alarm bells has to be ringing for Sparsh, a person that wants to win the championship year in and year out, and it's championship or bust for him every single year, of course. So yeah, I'll just hand it over to you guys.
I mean, I think I don't like the team, but I think he'll be okay to an extent. Uh, but not to his standards. So if he doesn't make a trade, he's not going to get anywhere this season. That's all it is. Uh, Drake London, there's obviously a talented guy, but it's always going to be can you reliably trust Drake London to put up numbers? Um, and that's just a scary thought to me, just the way the Atlanta offense goes. And Omari is starting to look really concerning. He's not getting the ball. And maybe he will later in the season, but it's not looking good right now at all. And that is one of his higher draft picks. So you're hoping that something changes there, but he's got to figure out something in his running back room.
Yeah. I mean, I touched on it a bit. He came in with question marks. And I guess we were all expecting slash he was hoping that those question marks would be answered by now in week 2, going to week 3.
God is real.
However, I think he still has question marks on a lot of these players. Like Kenneth Walker is actually running like how much is the split gonna be? Who's actually the better running back? Hampton, when he's gonna be able to overtake Najee Harris? He didn't look great Monday night. Glad, like thankfully he didn't for him like he didn't that fumble didn't count towards against him, or that would have like looked even worse. I mean Nico had a touchdown grab. Drake London had a good week 1. McMillan, I think, is the only player we can kind of say like looks like maybe the question is answered. Like he's the undisputed wide receiver number 1 on Carolina. Even with a bad offense, like if you're the wide receiver 1, like you'll get targets. Tucker Kraft looks good. But yeah, it was it's just a matter of like how long Sparks can just hold on to these guys because I do think a lot of these players are good. It's just like how many more weeks of like 10 points from Hampton can Sparks bear?
Yeah, I think the biggest key here will be Drake May and Tucker Craft. He punted both QB and tight end in a start seven league, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it's working out for him between those two players in as of week three. But if those two players can like show like they are like top six options, or I would say top eight for Drake May and then top five, six for Tucker Craft, then you can start hiding that RB2, in Hampton, who's not performing well, or RJ Harvey can perform well later on in the season. And now you have something to, really depend on going forward. 69 points for Sparsh is unheard of. Like I've never like, I still remember the week I scored 63. And I was expecting a little bit more slack for Sparsh in the group chat, the amount of slack I got, a couple years ago. But 69 points for Sparsh, like he has to like something has to be rigging for him. Something has to be like this is not good. So yeah, let's go to number 8, which is Bill. Bill hasn't had the best couple weeks, especially for his standard, contender year in and year out. But there are some signs of hope, I would say, in Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt with Bill. Austin Eckler, just a horrible injury. You know, great person as well, but now Bill steps into a role where he could be a league winner.
Yeah, I can go next. This is my opponent for this week. Looking at his team, like again, unfortunate to be he's 0-2, right, Rishi?
Oh yeah, he's 0-2, and I
Yeah, I
think he
mean, I
has like
think
one of the
it's
lowest points scored.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but I think it's unfortunate. Like he has a good team. Like if you looked at his team and you said he was like 2-0, like I could believe it. 1-1, I could believe it. 0-2, it's just unfortunate. I think he has really solid pieces. Obviously the AJ Brown performances have just been like hard to watch, really. I mean, honestly, the entire Eagles offense minus the run game has been hard to watch. Like Jalen Hurts kind of barely throws the ball. And they're such a good team in real life. Like they don't need to throw it. Like they're gonna be up like 7, 10, 14 points most of the game. So it's like, why would they even risk, maybe throwing a pick six or something? So just kind of unfortunate for Vermont. But yeah, Bill Bill, we'll see how he does against the Raiders. But again, solid squad. Unfortunate to be 0-2 in my opinion.
Also, I want to
I
go back to AJ Brown. Sorry, AJ Brown
oh,
doesn't look good. Like,
I was gonna say the exact thing.
I mean,
yeah,
but he hasn't had like enough chances to be like, how many
And
times is he getting really? Like, he's
and
not
so
getting
that's
many.
I think that's overall concern for honestly for the rest of the way the Eagles are playing this year, it's so chew clock that
yeah.
they're really not trying to throw. They're not even looking to throw the deep
Yeah,
ball for
like,
touchdowns.
but like they don't need it throw like because they'll be up so much they don't have to. So it's like,
And so that's what I'm saying. Like if I'm Ravant, I'm starting to get really concerned about AJ
but
Brown.
like okay, again, like if Ravon probably knows this, like he watches football, like he knows AJ Brown's like low key cooked. Like, but is anyone be willing to be like, yo, I'll take on that risk? Like, I don't know if anyone's really like excited to trade for AJ Brown, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think Calvin Ridley would be better. I'm really worried about his wide receiver depth. I know he has Diggs as like his fourth best wide receiver, and he could be something, but the way that Drake May is spreading that ball around, like I don't think he could really get targets like that. Pacheco looks terrible. Uh Trey Benson and his handcuff Connor. Dylan Sampson looks droppable now. So yeah, let's move on to number 7, which is I think Kirk, a 2-0 team at number 7.
Mark for Daddy is 7.
Yeah.
Oh,
What was the part for that? I had this team at number 6, but Joseph had them at number 7. So Joseph, you explain why you had this team so
Yeah.
low.
Again. I think Kirk, like again, looking at the team, it's solid. Um, I just don't think he's been going up against like the best teams, to be honest. Like he's again, Keisha dropped 77. Like a lot of teams would have beat them. But again, just going back to Kirk's performance, I'm kind of concerned with BTJ. Again, like this week has been pretty rough for him. Like social media probably is getting on him. The coach didn't really back him up, talking about like how he needs to play more. He needs to like be more focused in the game. We'll see how T. Higgins does with Jake Browning in. I think Browning like is great for Jamar Chase just because like I think like a year or two, like 2 or 3 years ago, like Burrow got hurt and he was in and he was just spraying Jamar with like 10, 15 targets every game. Is he gonna do it the same with Higgins? I don't know. And Mahomes and Kelsey, I mean Mahomes has looked pretty good. So Kirk hit on that. But yeah, I just think the other 1-1 teams roster wise had a better roster than Kirk's. It did feel harsh to put a 2-0 team like towards the bottom half, but yeah, I mean, looking at his team, like the bench, like Caleb Johnson, that pick is not aging really well. Like he's barely getting snaps. He had that like boneheaded play on the punt or kick right off return, like just leaving the ball in the end zone. I mean, he has like solid potential receivers, but I don't know. I think it's gonna come down to like he has so many options at like a flex, like he's gonna have to pick the right one, and like it might just end up being he picks the wrong one week to week.
Well, I was going to say, I think Jacoby Myers, the guy that he was trying to trade all of last season in every goddamn trade, he looks great actually. Good target share. He's getting the ball. So I think he's found a good receiver there. But yeah, as you guys touched on, T, even though he got the touchdown last week, he is still a question mark for, in terms of consistent performance that you can rely on. And BTJ is also starting to trend in that direction too. So, it's those two receivers you kind of have question marks about, but RB1 and RB2, those are good guys, and got a good QB. So that'll always keep Kirk competitive in any game.
Yeah, I think like the main concern, of course, T. Higgins, no Joe Burrow, BTJ. You know, he hasn't had a real connection with Trevor Lawrence. So let's see if he could, you know, live up to that price tag. Cam Scatterlow is looking like the RB1 in the New York Giants. I don't know how much that is worth, and I still is going to be like a really bad split between him and Tracy. But yeah, but I think it's like he is number 7, but it feels like after 2 weeks, just by the roster is like the top 7 has separated themselves from the rest of the group. By even by league standings and the power rankings. Number 6 is uh a mode Chimera versus the world. I was highly critical on Amok's team, in the preseason. Just I don't like his wide receiver depth. I don't like Terry McLaurin. He benched Terry McLaurin last week. I still feel like Terry McLaurin could be something just because, as long as Jaden Daniels is healthy, his wide receiver 1, which I still think will be McLaurin, will perform well. But the main concern I had was, you know, the QB and a tight end. And it looks like he's found a QB with Justin Herbert. And Bo Nix is decent. I'm not the biggest fan of Bo Nix, but Justin Herbert is looking like, back to his fantasy, performances, a couple years ago.
Did you say Terry McLaurin would be his wide receiver 1?
No, Jaden Daniels wide receiver 1. Like
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
No.
Uh, yeah, Puka looks really good. That's been great for his team. And then we touched on it in the first podcast we had, but Alvin Kamara, he's old, his efficiency might not be great, but damn, he's so good at catching some Mickey Mouse passes and getting points. So I know Joseph wasn't a fan of that coming into the season, but he's good at what he does of just racking up some stupid points that'll piss you off. Um, yeah, Javonte Williams has really been the one of the shining stars of this team in terms of where he picked him and what he's turning out to be. So we'll see if he's able to keep it up. Obviously the Giants kind of suck. So you put up those numbers against a trash team like that. I mean, still going to be happy about it, but they suck. So we'll see how he does this week against Chicago.
They also suck.
Yeah, so he might have himself a week again.
Yeah. I think a Moak's team again for 2-0. I feel like I put him in the middle of the pack just because I feel like there's some other one-on-one teams that are just a lot better, and we'll see them in a few minutes. But like Rishi said, Herbert looks really great. Kamara, I'm just not a big fan of him. Like, I just feel like the regression is gonna hit at some point. So I'm not really a big believer in it. He looks,
Keep dumping it off, man. They got no real
I
offense.
know, okay, I will say that like the QB play for the Saints has been better than I thought. Like Spencer Rattler hasn't been like horrible. Like I can see why he was like a flash star kind of guy in high school. I can see why. Like I was expecting like the Oklahoma Rattler where he was like seeing ghosts, but I'm seeing like okay,
The
like
South Carolina Rattler.
I'm
At
seeing
least
South Carolina
they,
a bit worse version of South Carolina. Like, he can see the field a bit here and there. I can see it. But his receiver core, that duo of Puka and Rome, it looks really great so far. And a lot of people are really high on Adenze this year, so he looks great. Javante, he looks good right now, but like I just feel like it's gonna come with him too at some point. Like he started off really hot. I think he was like 3 touchdowns in 2 games or like that. And but I don't know like how long Javante can keep this up for, to be honest.
I mean, he might just be good.
Is Rome going to finish as a top 12 wide receiver?
No,
Top top tw I can
Top
see
12.
top 12. I can see it because I think Chicago will be down a lot of games, so like they'll have to throw.
You're not the biggest fan of Rome, Ankit?
I trade high on him right now.
Really? I have him in another league, but
I'm a hater though, so
okay. Uh, let's go to number 5, which is me. Holy shit, my fault. Let's say one
yeah, he said me and Ghost's lead manager tools because none of us can. All right, buddy.
Where am I? Where am I?
I think you're
Oh,
in
it's
my
me. It's
team.
my team. Hold on.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
Oh,
Um, I voted myself at number 7, but Joseph voted me at number 3. So I just want to ask Joseph, why did you vote me at number 3?
Again, looking at your team, like you don't have preseason number one. Regardless of the record, I think when you look at the team, like Rishi's team is still one of the best teams in the league. Hurts with his Mickey Mouse push touchdowns. Gibbs with the new Eckler method of catching PPR passes for like a yard, like 6 of those in a game. Chase Brown, I will say question mark now because Jake Browning didn't really look his way, to be honest, at all when he came into the game. Um, and the Bengals, through these next couple of games, like they might need to be throwing the ball a lot more. So we'll see if Chase Brown gets involved. And also like the goal line scenarios, like the fact that they went with like 2 QB sneaks with Jake Browning is kind of like, whoa, like that surprised me. Um, Mike Evans, George Pickens, they look solid. Mike Evans had a disappointing week too, but that's because he was covered by like Derek Stingley. So what can you do about it? He'll have better matchups going forward. Um, Rishi hit with Tyler Warren as the rookie tight end. So that's looking good for him. Devontae, it's kind of a yikes right now because if AJ Brown's doing poorly, that means Devontae's probably doing worse as the
Actually, he's doing better. A lot
it,
better.
it's the opposite. Yeah,
yeah, but
The
okay, but you know what I mean.
Devonta's not been doing well. but Devonta is like the wide receiver one technically
I
right
mean,
now in the
Okay, yeah, but
offense.
PPR was like you know what I'm talking about, like, in the depth
Yeah,
chart order. Yeah, yeah, he's the wide
yeah,
receiver
you're
two.
right.
But again, I think looking at his bench, he has like a solid 2, 3 options he can play if anyone disappoints. Like Matthew Golden, we'll see, how he does with, Jaden Reed out. Green Bay wide receivers, like I feel like one of them are due to pop off every week, but just like picking which one. I'm sure Ankit can speak to that as like,
I don't think you can ever start a Green Bay receiver right now.
yeah. Well, but if you do though and you hit on it, like they'll hit on it. Like they'll be dropping
Yeah,
20 points
and if
minimum.
you don't, then
If you
you
don't, they'll drop like two. Yeah, exactly. But it's like you have an option there. J.K. Dobbins looks good so far. Darnell Mooney, he looks all right. Like Michael Penix is looking to throw the ball. Um, and then Kayshon Boutte, I think he can be a startable flex player, like if needed for Rishi. So, that's why I had him at 3. Yeah, it was a bit high, but when you look at his points scored and you look at the overall team build, like this is still one of the elite teams in the league.
I mean, I think this is a good team, but I had it in like the 6, 7 range,
You had him in the what range?
6, 7.
Bro, can we clip that?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Uh, I I feel like there's question marks at receiver, honestly, for Rishi's team.
Who? Like which one? Like,
Devontae Smith, obviously, which we talked.
yeah.
Um, Pickens, I honestly don't know how to feel right now. It took like the fucking shootout of the year for him to, get that touchdown. Because otherwise, I don't what he would have finished the game with like 10, 11 points. Is that what it would have been?
Yeah,
No, but
like he
like,
would have
dude,
he finished for 18, so he would have finished for like 11.
Yeah.
but dude, the entire game he was getting like deep ball targets again. Like the only reason he wasn't catching
Yeah.
it was because he was getting like pass interference calls. Like,
Yeah, he got three pass
yeah.
interference called. He had two in the red zone. He had three red zone targets, one touchdown, two PIs. Um, the thing about George Pickens is he's been getting those DPIs his entire career. Like I'm gonna get onto it more with my team. I'm gonna let Uncle finish, but like George Pickens, like what I'm looking for George Pickens is can he get like those little slant routes more often? Just like easy PPR points, like just real like can he be a floor guy? Can he be a guy that has a decent floor and has a with the high ceiling, of course.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so like I think George Pickens is good. There's just gonna be, those things here and there where that might, limit it for points and stuff like that. And I think Mike Evans is Mike Evans though. Like it's fine. But the receiver room is, Abuka is looking good. And whenever Godwin comes back, things start to get a little more crowded there now, especially with Abuka being good. And I don't know if maybe Rishi, you can go on about your team now, but I don't know if that's any concern to you.
Yeah. Think about Mike Evans. Like, thing about Godwin is, I'm not overly concerned about Godwin because they've been coexisting for a while, and Mike Evans still is, like a top 12 to 15 wide receiver, year after year throughout his career. But yeah, like Buka's there now, so he's gonna take away work. But also, Godwin had a terrible injury, and I was like hearing reports like he wasn't able to jog until like August. So, it was a really, really bad, it dislocated ankle. So it's not like he when he comes back, he's just gonna get that full workload. It's gonna take him, 3 to 4 weeks to, come back to close to his original self.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, going on my team, I rated myself at number 7, and I was kind of a little bit too low on yourself. Sometimes, when you lose a week, you're low on yourself. When you win a week, you're high on yourself. You know, I was, the seventh highest score this week, but I wasn't unlucky to lose this matchup. I only scored 108 points. You're looking for more points week after week. But yeah, the reason why I'm low on myself is Chase Brown. I'm really concerned about Chase Brown. The offensive line looks really, really bad in Cincinnati. And Chase Brown is not the greatest running back. He's like a running back. He has good metrics, in terms of his speed and whatnot. But he wasn't the highest draft pick or whatnot. Like he wasn't rated really high coming out of college. And Chase Brown is reliant on that offense being good. And if their projections are like 28, 29 and it goes down to like 21, then that's taken a lot of points away from Chase Brown. And I drafted him as a top 5 upside back, and now he's probably like a RB 10 to 15 range rest of the season. And the wide receiver, like another thing is the Philadelphia offense. It's so aggravating. It is so aggravating when I see my quarterback only throwing the ball like 13 times a game, only for 101 yards. I know Devonta Smith got 53 out of those 101 yards. Like he got 50% of Jalen Hurts yards, and he only came away with 9 points. And that's not what you want to see. And Matthew Golden, like, going back to it, like I drafted this guy to be like a league winner. He was a top 15 pick in the draft, really good offense, really good quarterback. And Matt LaFleur, like he just proves to you why you shouldn't trust that. Green Bay wide receivers are not the best fantasy assets. But he could still break out. He's young. He could have had 25 fantasy points last game, but he ended up finishing with like 1 point. So, who knows? But yeah, I rated myself low. I think I was a little too harsh on myself, but it just shows you like the top 7 has really separated themselves from the bottom 5. So yeah. Number 4, I think, is Ankit.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 4 is Ankit Code Monkey. So yeah, let me start with Ankit's team. Ankit's team looks really good. The top 4 look really, really good. And the running backs are like league winners. Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, both former number 1 overall picks in fantasy football. They're looking back to their old selves. As long as they stay healthy, they will always produce. The Indianapolis offense looks really good. The main question mark is Tyreek Hill. Can he be consistent? I think Devontae Adams will be consistent. The amount of targets he was peppered with, he's going to be good. But can Tyreek Hill get you those 15 points a week? If he can, then this team can win a championship. Same thing with DeAndre Swift. Can DeAndre Swift be consistent? Can J-Mo be consistent? Can he get 2 out of those 3 players to be startable options week after week? And also, he needs to get a quarterback and tight end. Kyler Murray will not be consistent enough to win a championship. And Kyle Pitts is Kyle Pitts. We know the answer to that.
All right. I'll touch on Kyle Pitts after Joseph speaks, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Ankit's team looking really great. Yeah, I mean, long as C-Max stays healthy, like any team with Christian McCaffrey will do fine. I think it's just everyone's kind of expecting at one point like something to happen. Um, yeah, the biggest question mark is Tyreek Hill. Like, is he gonna crash out again? Is he gonna get arrested again during the season? Um, any off the field issue concerns potentially. But I think Ankith, like looking at his bench, like he'll have options to play, like really solid options to play if a Tyreek or a DeAndre Swift disappoints. Like he has somehow the wide receiver 1 for the Chargers and Quentin Johnston on his bench. He also has JMO, who's very volatile, but can drop 0, but can drop also 35 in a game. So I think he'll have options. I mean, yeah. Kyle Pitts is also looking somewhat playable. We'll see.
I was gonna say, like, that game fucking sucked for what it was, but
Dude, he was getting targets.
he's getting targets.
I'm gonna cut y'all off.
Oh
If
my
we're talking
God.
about Kyle Pitts in a positive light, listen, dog, I got a big, big, big cliff that y'all can start jumping off from. I mean, good God. We
Okay,
talk about Kyle
right,
Pitts in a
right.
positive light.
No, no,
Good
no.
God.
You can believe that, but the facts are that before, like, when Kyle Pitts,
He was better than where he was drafted. I will nod my head.
and before, like, he wasn't even getting targets. He just sucked. Okay, he sucked.
I know. I'm actually not going to say that. I do think there was some level of target share to it, and I also think there was some level of Arthur Smith terrorism to it. I don't think Kyle Pitts was actually that bad of a guy. And I think that's why this year we look at him with Zach Robinson year two. He's better than what he thinks. At the same time, if you're putting your hopes on Kyle Pitts, you know what you're putting your hopes on? Cancun. Get the fuck out of here. All right, go find another fucking job to do. Holy cow. Motherfuckers want to talk about Kyle Pitts like it's a productive thing. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, it's good. It's because Rishi said Kyle Pitts is Kyle Pitts. No, Kyle Pitts is not Kyle Pitts this year, in my opinion.
No, he's not. He's not. He's not. And to think he's everything like he was is actually terrible. Now, if you want to think Kyle Pitts is a guy that's going to help you win a league, you should also find a fucking home. All right, they call them asylums. I mean, listen, go meet some people. We call them cuckoo, and you have fun. Don't fucking talk to me about that goddamn dumb shit. Hell no.
Yeah, my main concern with this team is you need to find basically like a really good quarterback or a really good tight end, and neither Kyler Murray or Kyle Pitts are really good options at those positions.
Yeah, and I think we'll be okay as the season goes. I think uh
Listen, the Kyler guy should be trading me for Daniel Jones. That sounds stupid. It's before week 3. I'll say it now. On God. Daniel Jones will outscore Kyler Murray from this point.
I mean, like, that's pretty possible the way he's playing.
Is Daniel Jones a top 9
12.
quarterback?
Yes. Yes.
In the league or fantasy?
Yeah.
No, fantasy.
Fantasy.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Yes. Shane Steichen invented the tush push along with Nick Sirianni. They're
Top
doing that.
9?
They're doing that with Daniel, whether you
Steichen
like
is
it or not. Even if JT's there, they're feeding him the basketball. Or they're feeding him the football.
I also I want to touch on before we leave my team. I wanted to touch on Quinshon Judkins. I think he's going to be
That's the best move. That's the best move you made.
I like he's going to have a bad week this week because he's playing Green Bay. But
No.
Wait, why is there 2 teachers? Sorry.
Let me leave.
Yeah, Judkins, sorry, it looks like a really good pick.
yeah, and then whenever Godwin comes back from injury, then I'll have another piece of my bench. So don't I'd say yeah, right now the QB and the tight end are what they are. Things will change. I'll tell you that for them. Speaking in all likelihoods, that QB will not be the QB I go into once I'm in the playoffs.
All right, number 3. Hold on. Sorry, there's no number 3. Tied for number 2 is Nangali's Niners. 1-1, looking like a really, really good team. Really good team. Just has options everywhere. Running backs, just four really good running backs that a lot of teams could start on a week in, week out basis. And then the wide receivers, I know he only has 2, I would say 3 startable ones, but Zay Flowers is looking really good in terms of like his target share, and the offense is really good. Lamar, and then Amon Ra. Amon Ra is Amon Ra, and he showed us why last week.
I honestly this is my number. If I next time I'll vote, but this is my number 1 team. To be fully honest, I really struggle to see like the pitfalls in his team right now. It feels like he has all the right pieces. Like he has a QB that's they're going to let him air it out every single time. The running backs are, they catch the ball, they've been good at running. It's, maybe you worry that, I don't know, Zay Flowers won't get a touch. Like, I don't know. The team feels just so well-rounded. It's personally my number 1 team.
1 is
Yeah,
crazy.
that's not a bad take. I had them at number 2 in my rankings. This is a really good team. Joseph?
Well, sorry, I'll let
All
Joseph
right.
speak.
I think I'd say I'm at 3 or 4. This is where I guess I was kind of hypocritical. Like, but before like the standings, I was like, regardless of the record, like I'm gonna put you where I think your team is. But this time, if Sam was 2-0, he'd be my undisputed number 1. But the fact that he's 1-1, I had to like dock a few points on the standings. But yeah, like there are no holes on this team, and if there is, like he has two players on the bench that can immediately come in, you wouldn't even notice. Like,
Wait, we're forgetting about one guy too, who's on his IR. He has George Kittle on his IR.
yeah, like this guy's
Like,
team
That's what I
is
was saying. Like,
insane.
it's a complete team.
yeah.
Who's the starter right now?
Zach Ertz.
which is
Oh,
not bad.
serviceable. Yeah, I mean, like,
I called it last week. I said he'd go for 15 plus, and he did.
Yeah.
Well, so here's my thing about Sam's team is I'm actually shocked to know he's 1-1. I thought he was 2-0. But the way that I judge teams is before it's only been 2 weeks, and I'm gonna judge them as I did preseason with a little bit of change. And there's guys like Zay Flowers. There's guys like in ETN and James Cook, right? Where Cook feels weird because he had the touchdown regression. He's looked good. But the Zay Flowers, he's inconsistent. ETN looks way better than what he did last year, but damn it, Bashal's taking a little. He might be, I think ETN's a little underrated right now at the same time. But it's things like this that don't make me believe he has studs. And when I look at his bench clears what a lot of people have. Like Sam has a very strong bench, but it's not a bench that I believe will really succeed 6 weeks from now, right? Like if I look at Sam's bench, where you have guys like Rashid Shaheed, Jalen Warren,
Shashi.
they're not going to be that Cedric Tillman. We know what they are. I don't expect them to change much. Now I look at a Jalen Waddle. That's an interesting guy. A Marvin Mims, maybe, right? I mean, Marvin Mims has Troy, and I'll be honest, I'm
He's
a big Troy guy.
droppable. Mims is
But
droppable.
but I think so too, right? I mean, I think you look at Sam's bench, they had a lot of tuds last week. If they didn't, you would drop them, right? They had 2 receptions, like 20 yards, and you moved on. Tillman had 2 receptions, had a fucking crazy touchdown off a deflection with Harold and fucking Marlon Humphrey to get it. Marvin Mims, 2 receptions, tud. And so if I look at a team like this, the bench is not something that I can rely in. If I look at the starters, now listen, they're better than I thought, and I will give them respect. And I think Sam's team is good, but they're not starters that I have a lot of faith in. And then I look top down and I say, okay, damn, like that's the case. Well, you know what, TJ, you're being rude about his flexes. At least he has a good quarterback. His quarterback's Dak Prescott. You know, that's a low QB1. That's not a guy that I feel really scared about when things matter. I look at James Cook Bucky. I'm a big Bucky guy. But these aren't guys that are winning fantasy leagues. Amon Ra, big Amon Ra fan. But after that, you go Zay, Zach, Travis. I'm not moved. Now, listen, I was a guy that put Sam's team, I believe it's second preseason. I still think this is a very good team, but I'm not all of a sudden on this tier of watch out. I don't care what his record. He could be 0-2, he could be 1-1, he could be 2-0. I'm not moved enough to be inspired. And so I challenge him if he's listening, push your team to be better. You know, make trades, do what you have to do. You are not near good enough. And I would argue nobody in this league is near good enough. That's what I gotta say.
TJ, you gotta be a little quiet there because I'm scared if his brother makes a move. I don't want him to make a move.
He should.
I
He
know he should.
should.
We gotta keep. We gotta be a little quiet. We gotta be a little quiet, TJ.
No, listen.
If he doesn't, I want
Make
to
it a
win the
move.
league.
I
You want
don't.
to
I
win the
don't.
league.
Yeah,
Joseph wants
listen.
to. Unkin wants to win the league. Be a
No,
little
see,
quiet.
Rishi, that's the difference. You're scared to tell people to make a move. I'll let them make a move, and I don't think they're gonna make better moves than me. At the same, like, listen, that's one, and two, like, he got to make a move. Making the right move is tough.
Yeah. To be pick up of TJ's point though, like the reason I had him so high, like you said, like it's only been 2 weeks, so like where I had him in the preseason is where I'm gonna have him. And Sam was my 1A, 1B preseasons. That's why have him high. Um, but yeah, I will say like TJ, like ET, I'm not the biggest fan of, but I look at his bench, and I was like pretty high on Jalen Warren coming in this season. Obviously, I don't have him, but um, I wasn't the biggest Caleb Johnson fan. So Jalen Warren looks
Caleb
fun right
Johnson.
now.
But no, I mean, like, we look
But
at
yeah,
that. Caleb looks worse, and I think Jalen's going to be a good guy for a long time. But here's the thing, right? There's guys in this league who could potentially trade him for, but no person in this league is looking at Jalen's like, wow, what a lucky guy to own. You have some level of hesitation.
yeah,
Okay. And
like
that matters.
no, that matters. But I'm saying like I agree with you. Like Sam has to make a move like within the next 2 weeks if he wants
Yeah.
to like be a contender because like
Yeah.
some teams like need running backs right now. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say which ones, but
Yeah.
like some teams are in desperate need.
Also, like,
Jalen Warren would start in half our league.
also
And that's
like,
not a bad thing, but that's a luxury that he has.
also things tend to like even out in fantasy. I know James Cook is going absolutely insane, and he may continue to do that, but like, you know, things tend to even out, and you have to be constantly active with the team that you have just to constantly make your team better.
No
And
question.
he's in such a great position to do so. And I'm really scared if he does that.
No, I mean, I agree. Like at the same time, it's like what I first said, right? Like I judge a team at this point in the season where I thought of them before. And right now, Sam has two elite guys. It's Bucky and Amon Ra to me. These other guys are better than I thought. I'm not denying that. Like, who am I to act like I know everything? I don't. I don't know shit. But at the same time, there's some level of trust that I have in my own opinions. And these guys can move the needle, but they're not spiking the needle to be like, wow, Sam has three elite guys, four elite guys, five, right? He doesn't. And so you need to recognize the situation that you're in and make a move.
Mm. I'm gonna tell you what move you should make, but not on camera. But this move would legit. Um,
I think I know which team you're
yeah,
gonna talk about
No,
yeah,
too.
I
this
mean,
legit.
listen, we could also shit, you know what I'm saying? But like
Yeah,
ultimately it's up to him and
yeah.
uh
And
somebody
Seb, you
has
want
to
to know if you
accept.
said you want to know the move, my Venmo Rishi dash Nukula. Uh, we can work something out. All right, let's move on to number one team. He's
Wait,
here.
we're tied
Price
with
to
two.
me
We're tied
21.
with two.
Yeah, you forgot Joseph.
Oh. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Tied at number two.
That was racist, man.
Heterophobes reloaded. How could I forget this team? They just beat me.
That was
So
that was homophobic, man.
shut the fuck up. So yeah, team looks really good. The not the greatest week, two duds, but this brother right here, Brandon Aubrey,
I
league
want
winner.
your kids, Brandon Aubrey. I want your
Is he
kids.
is Brandon Aubrey a league winner, guys?
Wait, sorry, can I say my opinion? I do
Yeah.
think Brandon Aubrey is, but the way I judge teams, especially early on, is I take whatever your score is and I subtract your defense and special teams. And Joseph had 39.5 points from his defense and special teams last week, which means Joseph had almost sub 100, if not exactly sub 100. And so when I look at Joseph's team, the same flaws that I had preseason still exist. And he knows it too. You're starting DK and Travis, question it. Jaron Jones just got hurt at corner. Travis playing less snaps. There's questions. So who are you playing at wide receiver? Brees without Justin, especially with Justin really being out next week. Let's see. I like Bijan. Algiers can go line carries. I have questions about this team. Brock, I love Brock Bowers. I will be the biggest fan to tell you that Brock Bowers is that guy this year. Brock looked hurt last week. If Brock wants to succeed the most, he cannot play week 3. He will play week 3. I have questions about this team. And then when I look at the bench, I look at a guy like Nick Chubb. He's great. Every single person in this world knows Nick Chubb is not the guy you want to have 3 weeks from now. Keon Coleman, I might as well laugh. Ricky Pearsall, sure, maybe. We'll see. There's actually a chance Brock plays this week. And so when I look at Joseph's team, Jordan Mason's going to be great, right? Like he's going to be good, especially with this Aaron Jones injury. But when I look at Joseph's team, I still think it's begging of a move. Like DK is a guy with Aaron that might get tugged, but he should not be complacent. I really, really, really implore him to recognize that his team can really improve. And so, damn it, I know you're on the call, but I tell you in general, you have a great team. I'm not shitting on your team just to shit on it. Be better.
All right, thanks, Dad. Anyways, okay, no, I do agree. Like when we did the preseason stuff, like I had questions about my team, and I still do have questions about my team. Like especially the receiver position, I have questions about. Yeah, Brock didn't look healthy last weekend, but he was on a snap count, so I'm hoping like they didn't really overdo it too much. Because
He had more rest than a typical week. He played Monday night.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm sure they were careful with it, and he was on a snap count like Mayer, wherever. He got a good amount of snaps too, so I'm hoping he can heal up from that. But I will say special teams and kicker helps a lot. And I think unfortunately. this Sunday we will be watching the Falcons pick off Bryce Young two times for pick six. We'll be watching five sacks from the Falcons D line as well.
For context, me and Joseph are going to the Falcons Panthers game. And the fact that he's saying this shit out loud and he's supposed to be a Panthers fan, fuck this guy. I mean, I'll say it from the bottom of my heart, fuck this guy.
Anyways, but again, like you said, making moves like I'm trying to. There's just no one biting. Well, there's no one biting, even though I think they should be biting based on their team.
So wait, question. Have you offered trades?
I've been trying to, but it's kind of like
No,
I'm
declined
good.
is one thing. Have you offered?
Oh, I have not in the app, but
Okay, but you've thrown an offer to
yes,
people.
yes.
Yeah, TJ, you missed it, but league sources have told us that Keisha feels very okay with this team.
Very,
Trust
very
me, I
okay.
know. I've talked to
Oh, you
half the
talked to
league.
league sources
Very,
too.
very okay.
I've talked to
My
more than
sources saying
half
the
the
same
league.
thing.
I've talked to more than half the league.
Yeah,
My sources tell me that he's really good with his guys.
Yeah,
No,
my sources
listen,
tell me that he's
that
fine.
just means that half of y'all asked him about Jamar. Okay, like listen.
Wait, no, I didn't
I
ask
didn't
about
ask
wait.
about Jamar. I mean,
My sources didn't ask
my
about
sources
Jamar.
asked me about
I didn't ask
Jamar.
about Jamar, but
My sources tell me that they didn't ask for Jamar.
Yeah, my sources tell me they didn't ask for Jamar either.
Yeah.
See, the difference is y'all have sources, and for me, it's just everybody asks me and talks to me, and that's the difference. People won't make a trade unless I give my nod.
Why is he talking like this? Bro,
Yeah, because literally 10, 12, what is that? 5, 6, 83.3% of this league won't make a trade unless I say sure.
Well, anyways, back to my
this
team.
brother gotta grow in his room or some shit, bro. 100%.
Back to my
All
team.
right.
Back to my
what
team.
did
Damn it!
Gotta grow in
Damn it!
his
I
room.
dream. Damn it! I dream.
This brother gotta grow in his room.
Why?
All right, Joseph, what were you saying?
All right, back to my team. Question marks, yes, but I would say I'm optimistic for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Reason being Jordan Mason is going to be starting for the
The next
Vikings
4.
or
Yeah.
4 weeks. And they have some really good games. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna have to make some tough decisions at receivers, like who to play. I have like 3, 4 guys on my bench I could play, and it's kind of like picking the right one, which I don't know how much I trust myself to do that, but
Listen. I'm gonna
we'll
push
see.
you. No way. It's 3 Mac. What, like Ricky over Travis? You're not playing Keon. You're not playing DeMar.
You can play
You're not
Keaton
playing.
Allen. The fuck? All right, that's fine.
Right. Anyways, yeah.
So going back, I disagree with what TJ has to say about the kicker, especially Brandon Aubrey. If Brandon Aubrey is going to get you 15, 16 points plus, he got you 25 this week. If he's going to get you that many points, you can't just leave that aside, you know? Of course, his team is nowhere near its peak, of course, nowhere near. But Brandon Aubrey
Is that guy?
is someone that will elevate you to another level because he is getting you 15 to 25 points a week.
No, I don't. I listen. Sorry. Just because you brought my name. I think defense kicker is very variant, but at the same time, there are obviously top defenses and top kickers. Like I think Green Bay this year is a very interesting defense to own, and Brendan's that guy. And especially if the offense is willing to forget a 4th and 3 at the 50-yard line to let a guy kick the 60-yarder, 46, whatever. We can recognize that's what Brandon Aubrey is. And so to fully attribute 35 of Joseph's points to fluke is truly false. But at the same time, that is the most variable thing, right? Like, even if I were to attribute 20 instead of 35, Joseph's team dropped 110 last week. Right? Sure, but his defense had a touchdown. That's rare. We can agree with that.
Then he dropped less than 100 points if you take out
exactly. And so like ultimately, I'm not here to say that those points are null. But
Actually,
when you judge a team, you care about those 7 more than the other things, right?
He scored 125 and his defense kicker I played against
gave him 39.
It gave him 39, yep.
Exactly. So he had 86. Now listen, there was
actually more than 39, like 34. I mean, sorry, 40, around 40.
No, it's
44,
39. It's
40,
there. Maybe
it was
40 with the
17 and plus
decimals.
25.
Yeah. But ultimately, like my point is, now granted, I'm not saying his 7 is terrible. I'm not saying his 2 defense and kicker are like super fluky. The defense a little, kicker a little, but they're not going to perform as much. And so you have to look at your team in the 7. And when I look at his team at the 7, I think it can be better. And I think that's where I stand.
I mean,
But I still think it's a very good team. Don't get me wrong.
I want to know, Joseph, have you heard from league sources about how much they're trying to whore out Brees Hall in trades? I,
Um,
I heard he's getting whored out.
Isn't
I will say those leak sources are not correct.
Oh,
I'll be honest, that name has not been thrown. So I don't know who your sources are, but
Yeah. The
Brees Hall has
toughest
not been thrown out.
Brees is not getting touched. The toughest trade in the world is everybody else and what you're willing to really part with.
All right,
And Joseph historically has never done it. So I challenge you, Joseph. Don't
I
be a
literally
fucking
traded with you
pussy.
last year.
I'm
We
not.
did
Yeah,
a good
but
team
If DJ gives
trade.
another
yeah, we
shot, I'm
did.
gonna fucking kill him.
Yeah, no, listen, don't talk to Unkit because Unkit's scared of fucking trading. He's about to get the fucking cooties and shit.
all right,
What, dude?
let's
Shut
go to
up.
number 1 team, right? Number 1 team is Trisomy 21.
Oh, is that me?
Yes, it's you.
All right, dude.
All right, let's just go through his
Can we
team.
just end it
You
here? Can we
know,
just end it here?
really good wide receivers. Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard will be good. Daniel Jones and Jawan Johnson make concerns.
But they're
So
better than
yeah.
people think.
Are we done? Next thing. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right,
Wait.
TJ, you want to speak about your team?
I do.
All right.
I don't like my team being. I know we only had not too many people vote on the recent poll, and I even expressed this after week 1. But I'm not very big on my team. I think there's a lot of room for improvement. Right, we have the RB2, quarterback, tight end on name. Even though I think they're better than people think, I'm bigger on Jawan than the average person. I'm bigger on Daniel than the average person. But there's a lot of room for improvement. Now, granted, I think the obvious thing is I can trade wide receivers for people to upgrade at those positions, and it's not like oh, he has to. I can hold on to these guys and be fine. Like, listen, I'm 2-0. I think any week nobody really wants to play me. I invest a lot in the Packers defense as well. They have a good schedule. I'm fans in these things. However, like I expand that, and there's a lot of room to grow. And so I am scared that people are scared to do with me. There's hesitancy to trade with me. It's been true for years at this point. People will do it, but that is true. But ultimately, like the way I look at this league is, as much as there feels like a top tier and bottom tier, there's still a lot of parity between that top tier. Even though right now it feels a certain way. If Daniel drops a stinker next week, I mean, are people surprised? Tony hasn't hit 10 points in 2 weeks and he's at 38 carries in 2 weeks. Now, Derek's going to be better than the 2.3 he performed last week, but Malik, right? I mean, 2 tuds, 9 receptions, 160 plus yards last week. That's not happening. Jason, sure, he's not a tud, but I think he's been about 30% of Sam Darnold's volume, right? I mean, there's reason to really question my team, and I think we should. I was one of the first victims ever to, I think it was like 2017, 2018, where Marvin Jones Jr. was the best wide receiver in 3 weeks, and I technically fleeced one of my league mates for Marvin Jones, and Marvin Jones did nothing after. We have to recognize situations, and we have to recognize how we thought about people earlier. Now, granted, I was higher on Jackson than the average person. Jackson fell. He was considered in the Lab McConkey tier. I'm very, very, very adamant that he is better than that. I look at my bench. Rashi's going to be better. I look at a guy like DJ. I overdrafted maybe. Josh wasn't who I wanted. I'm big on Alec. I'm big on Kyle. Troy, I spent 18 fab on. I mean, I won the fab with him. Woody, I spent 6 on. These are guys that I'm actually very, very, very confident in. And granted, who I dropped Jalen, and I have Brock Purdy in the IR, who, by the way, is expected to play this week. I like my team. I don't feel this level of confidence where I feel confident. I don't. I like it, and that's where I stand. And I think everybody should be looking to trade with me, and everybody should be looking to trade because there's not a single fucking team that should be happy about where they stand. And that I'll stop speaking there, but that's my ultimate opinion. Because if you guys put me at 1, we have problems.
Yeah, the main concern with this team is, can Daniel Jones be consistent? Can Brock Purdy when he comes back be consistent? Because we've seen in these past couple of years how important quarterback play is. These top four, top five quarterbacks, especially last year, won people leagues. It got Amogo over the hump, Jaden Daniels. It who had Josh Allen last year? The person that Josh Allen had a great year last year. So I think that would be the main concern moving
No, it's
forward.
true, but I would argue, and like it sounds stupid to say it, but I have the pieces to trade for a guy like that. And I will also say, like, oh, like he's saying that the guy with Josh Allen would never trade. The guy with Josh Allen, if your team's not doing well, Keshav, you have to make that trade and look for the quarterback later if you have to. You
Dude, he's
have to
not
be
trading
will
right now.
you
He is
no listen.
not trading.
I know he's not. And I'm telling you, Keshav, I hope you fucking listen, grow the fuck up, right? Like, no, listen, I'm not here to say you have to understand when you make that trade. When you make trades for studs, go get your team better, right? People are scared to make trades to trade their best player to get better. And that is a problem. That is a real. Look at Sparsh. Sparsh, I'm honestly pretty confident will make a move if he doesn't. It's tough because who does he really have to make a move with, right? Like you look at a guy like Kenneth, if you're trading him, I mean, that means he's taking another running back in Omarion, scary. You can't trade Omarion, weak. He has Nico, Drake, Tet. He has to get rid of some guys and get the same guys, but equally, you can't be 0-3, man. Listen, I know the chances of making the playoffs at 0-2 in the real NFL are low. 0-3 in fantasy football? Fuck no. You cannot be okay with taking every other week like it's any other week. And that's my personal opinion.
Keep going for a second.
Yeah, I mean, if like I'll let anybody else speak and please cut me off, but I think largely like my perspective is we are a 12-man league. Leagues are deeper. You want to hear TJ's opinion? I think this waivers are deeper than waivers we've had in the last 2 years. I think we have a really, really deep waivers. There's guys that are right now on benches that we're going to be like, what the fuck were they doing on the bench come week 3? I'm a really big believer in these things. But if that's true, we have to be willing to make moves. And even if that's not true, we still have to be willing to make moves. And so I encourage everybody, no matter what place you are, no matter what your record is, the guys that you consider great, be willing to move off. Now, I'm not here to say trade low, trade high, make trades. The guys with Puka, I think Puka's that guy. I'll say it openly. I don't give a fuck. I think Puka's that guy this year. That's my guy.
All
You
right.
should be willing to trade Puka.
All right. So here is, the power rankings, sorry, Joseph and I's rankings for this week. In the comments, please tell me your rankings, how you would 1 through 12, how would you rank these teams? TJ, give me your opinion on these overall rankings, because you haven't been
Yeah, I
here.
know I came a little late.
Yeah.
I ultimately think that Rayvon's weird. So the two names that speak to me are Rayvon and Sparsh right now. Sparsh at 9. I know I put him at 1 because I believed his team would be built to last, and I think it was lower than I thought. Sparsh's team is a very good position to make trades to be very high. He has to be willing to do it. I look at a team like Rayvon. His team's scary. Yeah, I don't. He's at 8 for the right reasons. You have a guy like CD Sure, but besides that, AJ Brown, Calvin Ridley, James Conner, Isaiah Pacheco, Bill, quarterback is Baker Mayfield. I mean, there's nothing here that inspires confidence, and even like a Dylan Sampson in a PPR league, sure, but Trey Benson, you don't want to start him. Stephon Diggs, Najee, I mean, you have to blow it up. He has to be willing. Really, he has to trade CD and trade to reset. And so I look at those two from the 8 and 9 perspective. Sorry, if you can bring back the rankings. Joseph Sam, again, like the ultimate thing, as I was saying, is all these teams can improve. The teams I'm the most curious on is Rishi at 5, I think is an overreaction. I think Rishi's team is really good. The running backs, sure, didn't do as well as you expected. And the biggest thing that I said going into the season was Rishi doesn't have a wide receiver 1. And I feel like he, of all people, can agree with that perspective. But I don't care about your results and your performance in these couple of weeks. I care about what position you can put your team into to develop and grow. Rishi can offer a better trade offer than 90% of the league, which essentially means I think he can offer a better trade offer than everybody besides one person. Depends on who he's offering, right? Some people have the quarterback, some people have the wide receivers, some people have the running backs. And so I think Rishi's too low because I look at Unkith. I was skeptical of Unkith's starters and his bench, and I think those guys all really stood out. I was wrong, right? The variable guys aren't as variable. He has Judkins. He's that guy. And I think more and more people are recognizing, holy fuck, Godwin can be something. But at the same time, Unkith's guys hold the same place to me. And if you're trading, it's tough value. I, again, really push Unkith. Make the move, right? Like all these people that are where they are in the top ranks, to me, just have more players that are good. They don't have the best players. And so I really encourage everyone to really evaluate a trade. And that implies the guys at the bottom and the top. The idea of selling low, holy cow, makes me mad. Like Kachavas Jamar Chase. Oh my God, I'm selling low because everyone knows he has Jake Browning. No, people recognize you have Jake Browning. That is a trade you can be willing to make, even if it's slightly lower than what it was last week. Doesn't mean that it's low. Too many people are too scared to make a move just because it's not the sell high time. Make the move, and I'll stop speaking there. But that's how I feel.
All right, we'll quickly go through our waivers, and then we'll go through our week 3 matchups just briefly. Just we predict who wins. That's what we're doing.
And I'll reduce my volume. So sorry. I know I came late,
That's
fans,
fine, that's
and
fine.
I'm speaking,
Listen,
but
that's
yeah.
what we do.
Motherfucker just yapping about telling news to trade. Like, God, man, shut the fuck
They
up.
should.
TJ, I
Dude, listen.
implore
I
you.
want to hear from both of y'all. Both of y'all are the two
We
motherfuckers that won't trade.
fucking
No,
know
listen,
what we gotta do.
listen,
You
listen.
don't fucking
Oh, we
no,
gotta
no,
trade
no.
because
Shut
you
the
point
no,
to
you shut the fuck up.
you point to
Ah,
one
la, 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 la.
moment. You point to one moment from last year, and you point to that one moment as why you shouldn't trade again, and that's your problem.
TJ,
I lost that trade as well.
The passion you have for everyone making trades, I implore you to exercise your right to vote and please vote in the league poll.
I want
Yeah,
you
I
to
should.
use this passion on finding some bitches, man.
All
Yeah, well,
right,
man, that's not fair, man. I'm going through a lot.
That's too
You
far.
know
That's
what I'm
too far.
saying?
That's too far. That's too
can
far.
I
That's
pull
too
up the
far.
waiver report, or do I just have to do it like this?
I know on my phone, so on the computer it might be
Okay.
like this. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Dude,
So
were waivers even like good like this?
Yeah, okay, here's my
wait,
take.
let's
Waivers
just, let
week
me
one.
find it.
Waivers week one sucked. Waivers week two. There's some gems. There's still guys on waivers. Right? I think this is going to be the best waivers years in 4 years. That's my take.
All right. So
There's a lot of. I have 55 left. I'm kind
oh
of
shit,
scared.
I'm on last week.
They're studs. First year in my life, I invested in defense. 12 fab.
Okay.
All
All right. So let's just so first thing, TJ, $18 for Troy Franklin. That was the biggest, and then TJ again. Packers defense, $14. And
14.
TJ again, Woody Marks, $6. So yeah. TJ.
Just talk about my thought process.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this league knows I'm a big investor in wide receivers. I'm not here to say I'm always right. I do also think I'm better than the average person evaluating wide receivers. Now, listen, that may be my own ego. I like Troy. I look at Denver's offense. Sure, they have running backs to grow. Sean's a guy that likes to spread the ball, ultimately. I don't love Bo Nix, but there's not a guy. I ultimately believe that you got to spread the offense. And Cortland got the ball. He's like my Terry McLaurin in terms of Terry McLaurin's better than people or worse than people think. And I think Cortland's kind of like that. And they're going to spread the ball. And they had targeted volume for Troy. Now, granted, that defense is better than people think. Indiana exposed them more than people would. I still like that defense. Are they going to pass the ball and give us many targets? No, but guy that was with Bo's connection, Oregon, younger age when he produced. I'm just a fan of guys like that. So that was to me a wide receiver on own. If I'm being honest, like people could be like, TJ can't really trade him because I think that's my 7th wide receiver. And it's like, why would I invest that heavily in a guy like that? But I invest in talent ultimately. What the trade that comes is after, and I really like the situation Troy's in. I don't believe in Pat Bryant. I don't believe in Marvin Mims in there. Now, if I had to pivot down to Packers defense, I'm not a big guy in defenses in general. And I know I'm kind of buying into the hype with what the Packers are. The schedule is very good. They play Cleveland the week after. They play Dallas, which is the scarier one. And the next 3 weeks, I think they have a bye somewhere in there, 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, they play. They play like Carolina. I mean, they play. I love Carolina, but they play teams that you feel good about. And if you can own a team for a while, you will. And so that's my perspective there. And Woody is. I'm not a big Chubb guy. I don't think Mixon even plays this year, and if he does, I don't care. But Damian Pierce was inactive last week. I mean, to me, I unfortunately or fortunately watched a lot of football. I watched 31 or 32 games this season, missed Sunday night of Falcons Vikings. Sorry, not really sorry. Watched the Sunrise Turn pretty good. Season finale tomorrow. Tune in, folks. Or tonight. I actually gotta watch.
Can we get a shot
But
clock?
yeah. I'll speak in 15 more seconds and I'll be done. But Woody PPR is a guy that I think you want to value, and Chubb's a guy that can easily be injured, so I'm going to value guys like that, and that's why I ultimately paid.
All right. So yeah, you're at a waivers for this week. Notable as Troy Franklin, $18. Packers defense, 14. Jared Goff, 6. Woody Mark, 6. Seahawks, 5. And then rest, just small ads, small failed ads. So yeah.
On the topic, I just want to touch on trades quickly. Sources from, trade talks with the Copib camp. The Copib camp was talking about the Code Monkey team, and he said, when inquired about Jaden Daniels, he said, who do you want to give up? Jonathan Taylor or CMC? So, and then he also made,
What
he
would you
also,
answer?
huh?
What would you say?
Well,
What the sources from
the sources are
Code
saying that he said they aren't on the table for that. And then he followed it up with he said the Code Monkey team has the worst starting receivers in the league.
All right,
So
and that's his opinion. All right.
Do you think he's absolutely wrong?
yes.
All
How
right.
much? How do you feel about Tyree?
All right, just shut the fuck up, TJ.
Can we speed
But
through this,
No.
PG?
all right, sorry guys.
we need to get through
Um,
things, TJ.
okay, so first matchup. I think this is the prime time matchup for this week. Rivalry, me versus Sam. Um, I think I'm gonna win. I think I'm gonna win every single week. I'm never gonna predict myself to lose. I'm gonna win
Sam
by a
owes
lot.
you.
I'm gonna win by
Sam
40,
owes you
50
money.
points, and I'm gonna beat my rival like how I did in last season's last week when he got last place. So yeah, Ankit, quickly.
Sam owns you. That's all it is.
Not recently.
One game does not change ownership.
One of the most important games
One
ever in league
game does not
history.
change ownership.
One of the
The Bears
most
beat
this
the
that was
Bears
the
beat the
most
Packers once.
important
Does that
game
change
in
ownership?
our
I
rivalry
think
history.
Sam wins.
Sorry, Risha. I think Sam wins too.
Okay, that's fair. All right, Camara versus the World versus Trisomy 21. Let me
This
briefly look
might
through the
be a fun.
matchups. Um,
Underdog
Derrick Henry
again.
has a decent matchup. Tony Pollard, good matchup. League Neighbors, bad matchup. Jason, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna go with a Moke's team. I think a Moke's team is gonna win. I think Rome and Javante will have good days. As long as Kamara keeps on Kamaraing it, he'll win.
Listen, I love to put y'all put me at 1 and y'all still got me at an underdog and think I'm gonna lose. Watch out. Read the books. I'll see y'all next week at 3
I
and
don't
0.
think y'all realize that TJ's defense probably scored him like 18 points this week.
That is
I'll
true.
see y'all on week 3.
Okay,
All right.
bro,
Y'all
it's
have
one
fun.
dude that predicted. Stop being weird. All right, Ankit, what do you say?
I think TJ wins this week. He moves 3-0.
Okay, Joseph.
I think TJ wins too.
Okay. See, like they all predicted you, TJ. Are you
Ask me.
happy?
Ask me. Ask me.
Oh,
Ask
sorry,
No, we
me.
already know,
TJ,
dude. We don't need
sorry.
a 15
Yeah,
I'm
minute
kicking his
spiel.
ass. Tell him to meet the real
yeah.
world. All right. Tell him to grow the fuck up.
All right.
This ain't no third world shit.
A little rivalry game here. NC State rivalry. Heterophobes Reloaded versus Bill. I think Heterophobes will keep rolling and they'll move it 3-0. Ankit.
Yep. I think Heterophobes gets it done, and they show what the gay community is all about.
TJ.
Yeah.
Is TJ going to
I
speak?
think Rayvon gets smoked.
Okay,
I really
Joseph.
wanted him not to.
I'm gonna say me, but I need to pick my wide receivers wisely.
All right. Stevenson and White Guys 4 for Jaden Jefferson Jr.'s mom's. Jaden Jefferson Jr.'s mom.
Whoa,
Uh,
0-2 versus
0-2
0-2.
versus 0-2.
yeah,
Yeah.
0-2 versus 0-2. Two teams looking for their first win.
Well, Jane's not playing.
Yeah, so if Jaden, yeah, I think Alvin comes out here with a win.
And Greg, right? Who's Alvin's quarterback? He has Joe
He
right
doesn't
now.
have one.
He has Jared Goff. If Jared Goff is playing, where's Jared Goff? At Baltimore, that's not the best. I don't know
Who's
who he's gonna start.
He has
who's
I
top is
don't I just
backup?
I
Jordan
don't
Love.
like Kyron versus
I'm sorry.
Philadelphia.
I'm going
I
to
don't
say a
like
take.
Montgomery
I'm
against
going to say a
Baltimore.
take that people are not recognizing. Cleveland's better than people think. Cleveland's outgained both their opponents this year by more than 100 yards. They actually outgained Cincinnati by more than 200.
They're playing the Packers this week.
Rishi, who's a cop who's backup?
It doesn't matter.
Let me check.
It's Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
Wow.
Oh, that's a decent.
I
Listen,
think
I'm still not a huge Jordan guy.
Yeah, but he's
But he could have a good
solid
week.
fantasy guy for like 16 to 20 points a game.
I think Coppet wins.
Okay.
And I'm taking, I mean, listen, I think it's confirmed Justin Fields is out. So we're talking about Tyrod with Garrett as well. And so when I look at
That is true.
Kopip's team, his team is not even his quarterback defense. I think Carson might even do better with Justin. And I'm telling you all right now, I'm calling it week 3. Max Brosmer is going to be the guy for the Minnesota Vikings. Sorry.
Give me Alvin this week.
Yeah, that's Alvin.
TJ, who you got?
I got Kopip.
Two Cobb, two Alvin. Lads versus Code Monkey, 2 1-on-1 teams.
Holy fuck.
I have Code Monkey and yep, nothing else to say. No running backs as of right now in case you're starting lineup. Next person. I'll get.
I mean, yeah, I win this week. That's all there is.
Yeah, I think Ankith wins.
I'd take give me Keshav.
All right. All right. Bark for Daddy versus Ted Offensive. It's actually an interesting week. 2-0 versus 0-2.
Both very different situations.
Yeah.
I mean, this
Yeah,
is
give me I have to predict Sparsh for the good juju. So, give me Sparsh for the win.
I play Sparse the week after this one, so it's like you got to get going here.
Bro, you're not that guy, bro. Joseph.
That being said, give me Kirk. Capital One still runs deep.
Okay. Joseph.
I feel like it's gonna be like pretty low scoring too. Give me Sparsh by like 3 points.
Wait,
I think Kirk.
Oh, go ahead, TJ.
I think Kirk blows him out.
Yeah.
Wait, Dan, let's look crazy. I was about to say I think Sparsh might kill him this week.
Actually,
No.
like, yeah, I mean that's not a bad take.
I think
Biggest surprise you will see out of these 6 matchups. One of y'all can start.
Kirk and Sparsh both score under 100, and Sparsh wins.
All right, my surprise is Keshav scores over 100.
TJ.
Can you go back to the lads matchup actually as well? Actually, no, these teams fucking blow. Holy cow. I don't know what my hot take is. I think my hot take is that the power rankings drastically change. I don't know if that's crazy, but
Are you gonna vote this time?
I will. And I apologize to fans that I have. But
biggest surprise is of course me beating Sam. It won't be close. I will be asleep on Monday night. I don't have to watch it. All right, that's my biggest surprise.
Holy cow. Who's going to tell them?
What is the Monday night game, dude?
It's Baltimore versus Detroit, and I have Gibbs, and he has
Wait, that's the Monday night game?
Amon-Ra and
Wait, that is such a good Monday night game. That's such a good Monday night game.
How's that ever not a Sunday night game?
That's not true. Reese's actually more likely to be at my crib watching the game.
But
Wait,
yeah,
I low-key think that's a lock.
Yeah, what can I bet that?
it's not a lock. I don't usually come on weeknights.
He doesn't.
My mom gets
He
mad at me.
doesn't. But at the same time, you know when your ass gonna be down sweating the bullet.
Yeah. No, if I won last week, then I would probably do that for Monday night for the
Okay,
Super Six Show.
if I were to remove our current league status with y'all, who's one guy in a PPR league that y'all would like to trade for, and who's one guy that you guys want to sell?
On our
Like
team?
in our team.
No. In general.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's a good question.
I want Bucky Irving.
One guy I'm actively looking to trade for is uh either Drake London or Josh Allen.
Okay.
I
Is
can't.
there
I'm sorry,
anybody?
to
Wait.
sell.
Sorry, I'll let Richie sell. Yeah, finish.
Sorry, to
Yeah,
sell.
who would you sell?
Um, who would I sell? Uh, Chuba.
Just Chuba Hubbard. Okay. Anybody else want to go next?
I'd
Joseph or Uncle?
sell a Doomsday. Uh,
For to
Sell
sell, right?
Dunze.
To sell.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
said
sell
yeah.
Dunze.
in terms of buying, it's tough. Let me think a little bit there.
Okay. Joseph, do you have
I'm buying Bucky Irving, and I'm probably selling. I'm so biased against him. I cannot do Alvin Kamara. I'm sorry. I don't see it.
fair?
I would actually
Fair.
sell Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is always good to start the season, but he kind of falls off.
Listen, last year's not a fair
No, even the year
recollection
before
of
that,
this
same
year.
thing.
Okay,
Even the year
fair.
before that.
If I were to buy, I'm buying Brian Thomas. And Kenneth Walker. If I were to sell, I'm selling Jamar. He's still not low enough as he should be. I'm selling Jamar. And I am sorry, there's another guy in my head. Oh, I'm doing everything I can to get rid of Jaden Daniels right around now.
I'd I think my buy would be Devontae Adams.
Yeah. If you I feel very strongly about Devontae.
I
So
mean,
if you don't agree with me on that perspective, Devontae had 4 straight red zone targets in front of my eyes.
they are feeding him the fucking ball there.
Yeah, 8 catches off
Yeah.
14 targets, and it should have been better. Now, granted, there's some of those that he should have catched. Was he watched? I watched. I can't fully feel some perspective, but listen, there's some shit on trending on Twitter recently about look at Matthew Stafford, man, he's still that guy. Half of those throws were to Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I saw Devontae Adams he's top 5 in average separation.
Yeah. I truly think a top 3 wide receiver this year is Puka as well. Like I think that Rams offense is any fear about Matthew Stafford. I get it. It could happen. You got to believe in that offense as long as he's healthy.
Yeah, that is the main concern. Just his health.
Sure. But it's the same thing to me as like the Tua discount. If Tua's hurt. But the thing is, Matthew Stafford clears him as a quarterback. That his wide receiver is going to. Oh, what if Tua gets a concussion? Dude, people don't get concussions every other fucking day, you know? It was the same thing last year. Now, granted, Tua, McDaniel, the Dolphins' offense might suck. That is not the question. If the only question of the Rams' offense is if Matthew Stafford gets hurt, you take the offense.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That's my. Now,
completely
Kyron. Oh, sorry. You should be selling Kyron if it's not already too late. Kyron, I've got 3 red fucking warning signs on.
Can you explain them? Because I'm a Bleak Horror Morning.
Yeah, Blake Corum got 35% of the snap share, and McVay said that's more likely what it's going to be. And in general, Kyron hasn't been efficient. Kyron, to me, is actually a lot like Chase Brown, but there's not anything else in that offense to believe in. Now, what's interesting is Chase Brown has who? No Joe Burrow. I like Browning. I think Browning's better than the average person thinks, but how good is that offense going to be? Good question. But I'm more. They're not giving the ball to Todd Brooks. You know,
Yeah.
Kyron Williams owners, get rid of him now if you can. That's my thought. I could be
Yeah.
wrong, obviously.
Also, I remember when you guys talking about Chase Brown's receptions, like he's not getting enough receptions. Last game, if you watch that game, the Jags blitzed like almost every play. So Chase Brown was in pass protection.
I
So
I think teams are just gonna do it against that line, frankly.
that is, I mean, no, why would they blitz that line?
If the line's
Why would you
bad,
blitz
why
that
would you not
line?
just rush forward?
Why would you not? If the line is bad, why would you not play
Uh,
coverage? No, the thing
Dude,
is,
I think the
I
Jags.
think
I
the
think the
Jags
Jags are
defense is
fucking
just so.
stupid.
I think the Jags
No,
defense is so bad that they
oh
just
yeah,
have to
that's
blitz. Minnesota probably will do the same thing as well because they have Brian Flores and they play Minnesota this week. So, um, the thing is, like, bro, the meta and defense right now is the way the Packers are playing, which is basically 4-man rush, couple of stunts here and there, coverage, and that's what's
yeah.
been working.
Wait, real quick, just to say this, the Packers are not the first team to do it. Listen, how do you think the 2015 Carolina Panthers did that shit?
all right.
Rush forward, secondary that did
All
that
right,
shit.
all
Joseph,
right,
back me
all right.
up.
Let's wrap it up, guys. Let me stop this screen share. All right, why is this dude staying like this? Like, what is this? All right.
How soft?
All right. Thank you guys for, staying with us for, it's almost been 2 hours. You know, I had a fun time. I think everyone else had a fun time. And episode 3, this is it. I'll see y'all next week.
Stay tuned for number 1.